In the beginning, it was dark. Then God created the light bulb, and it was not so dark. And God created the heaven and the earth and dates, and it was day one. And God was happy. Then, filling the void with heaven and earth, God created dinosaur fossils and made them look really old for no apparent reason. And he did this to fuck with people, which he created next, after the plants and the animals and the water and the sea. And then God created a beautiful garden with a big fence and a sign that said, "Don't go here." And they did not. And then God created a big tree and put it in the center of the garden and put a sign on it that said, "Do not touch." And then he put a snake on it, which he did create, to get them to touch it. They touched it. And God was mad. And it was good. Welcome to Good Idea.
Continue.
Continue? Yes, of course. Continue. Good Idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It's a comedy podcast where we find creative, actionable solutions to your real-life problems.
I'm Aiden Kinsella.
And I'm Bradley Berklich, and this is Good Idea.
That was very good. Did you write that?
Yeah.
I love it. That is the second origin of fossils bit we've done on this show.
Have we?
We've had a very heavy religion and philosophy theme going for the last solid month. Every episode, at least one religion or philosophy goof.
It's ineffable.
Because we had the Ineffable Plan Effable. That's a very good satire article we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I should write that. That'd be fun.
It would
to
be good,
write.
yeah. And just a title we created at a lunch table.
We didn't create the. We actually created the title. We were going to pick up Jared
Did we?
to go to the football game.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
A dramatic one, but a fun one.
Yeah, it was good.
The other one was I was looking at a geology book and we were talking about how Satan put fossils in the ground to make us all think God didn't exist, and how paleontology was a stupid profession.
Because things in the past
they don't matter.
Stupid. Yes, all right, I do remember this now. That's a good one.
Things in the past aren't stupid. It's just that rocks are stupid.
That's a good point. So, do you want to start us off with a prompt?
Yeah, sure. I hate picking first, but I know you also hate picking first, so...
Thank you.
Okay. This is really tough. But I want to talk about... I don't know what I want to talk about. What if we just didn't do one? We just sat here for... Let's just sit here for a bit.
Okay. You want to, meditate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nope, not like that.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to do real quick. Just give me a second. This is important. Let's see if it works. Here we go. Can I make this any louder?
Hello and welcome. This is Greg DeVries from meditationcoach.com. The following meditation should not be used while driving, operating any type of machinery, or caring for young children.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me just go back because
now you know. Operating any type of machinery or caring for young children.
Okay, I'm done now.
No. Okay, but that's funny because that kind of suggests that yogis should not have kids. And if you're the fifth person to watch the YouTube video, you get a free bottle of essential oils.
There are actually 665,345 views, which means soon it will be up to 666,000, which will be very good, and then no one can ever watch it again.
So, but
that's a good video.
You did.
I know that's completely unrelated to anything.
You did just Google meditation video.
No, I've listened to that before many times. Theater class.
Theater class.
I love theater class. It's very good. We did improv today, and I did a very fun bit about observational humor Seinfeld Batman. I didn't want him to be Batman. That was the other person's choice. It was sort of that's what improv is. You know how you have two people in improv and you say yes and?
And he's like,
And he's like, okay, Batman. I'm like, you said you wanted to talk first, not that you wanted to make my character for me. But it ended up being very, very funny. So I commend him for his commitment to being Robin.
hey, you know, if somebody made me Batman, I'd be Batman.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
well, I was
yeah.
Batman, but I didn't realize I was supposed to be Batman for the first solid minute of it. So he seemed very confused, and I was like, I know you're trying to be Robin, but my bit when I came up here was going to be that I was going to take all the things you said and then be like, so you know what's funny about that thing? And then my whole improv bit was going to be me doing...
Seinfeld?
Yeah, I was gonna be Seinfeld, and it was really good. I mean, it was real, and it was funnier when I was Batman because then I started doing the voice. You know what's funny about points? He's like, holy shit, Batman!
Holy fuck, Batman!
I've got a point. That's a good point. And I'm like, you know what's funny about points? They're usually pretty sharp. Am I right? And like, it's not that funny, but
Holy Batman!
holy what?
Point. Okay.
Holy Bible, Batman!
It's really funny to me if Robin just goes, holy fuck, Batman. Holy
Yeah.
shit, man.
That was my bit. I didn't do that in class, although I wanted to. I just didn't think to
God.
do it during the thing, but I thought about it right afterwards. So we need to actually do a prompt now.
We
'cause
do.
I just wanted to talk about theater class for a second because it's funny.
All right,
Also,
so-
I'm definitely going to have to take the volume down on that little section there because I got very loud.
So, I'm going to suggest one
Oh,
from...
you have one? Please.
Yeah,
save me.
let's just go with, Let's
You
see.
thought that would work, didn't you?
The first one I have on here is
What?
from a new person,
Ooh, yes.
which is good.
That's
And
really good.
Her name is Sienna, which is good. Thank you,
Thank
Sienna.
you, Sienna.
And her prompt is a competitive fighting game for dads.
Sienna's actually a friend of mine. A very good
Yes.
friend of mine. And a competitive fighting game for dads is a very good prompt. So, we actually got this prompt a couple days ago, and you said Men's Dad House 2.0.
Which I don't want to do because
Which I
we
don't
did
want to
it
do.
already.
I wanted to make sure that that's not what you wanted to do, though.
No.
Because if that's what you wanted to do, then we could do it. But I think this needs to
firstly
be a new dad experience.
Okay, picture Super Smash Brothers Melee, obviously.
Why?
Why? It's
the best one.
best one, of course.
Okay.
So, and then what we end up doing is we develop different types of dads to fight each other. So there's different characters, different archetypes.
Okay, so you got the
of
overbearing
dads,
dad.
really.
Sorry, the helicopter dad.
Helicopter
Which,
dad,
of
who
course,
can
for the
fly.
fighting game, we take very literally. Does he have a propeller on his head? A propeller hat.
I think
That's very dad.
yeah,
That's
we
very
give,
dad.
We give him a propeller hat.
He's
What
a
is
helicopter
what is his
parent.
weapon of choice? Do we think?
I think he flies at people with the blades.
The
of
blades,
propeller.
absolutely love it. And
That's
then,
his.
and then
all his moves involve doing
let's
that.
do like 4 or 5 dads.
Only
and then pit 'em
4 or
against
5,
each-
and then what about the other ones?
I don't. Well, I mean, it's a limited roster at first. They get expanded in DLC, so you get Mewtwo Dad.
Mewtwo Dad.
Yeah,
That's
he
good.
comes
I thought-
along.
That's my favorite Smash. My
Then
favorite Smash player is
You
Mewtwo
get
Dad.
Uncle,
Uncle.
who's DLC only. You can't even unlock him. No, supposedly you can unlock him like Luigi, but like you
yes.
just got to figure it out, right?
We need Granddad.
Granddad.
Okay,
he's in
that's
there.
not DLC. That's the next dad.
Yeah. That's the next one.
Okay,
so
Granddad. What
what's-
does Granddad have?
Granddad, he has a cane,
Newspaper.
and a urinary tract infection.
Yeah.
And
Coffee.
He's got coffee.
Hot coffee with which to scald your enemies.
He's a fun guy though. He's good. And then
He makes a couple racist jokes.
he does. No, that's an entire separate category. Is racist dad. Who's
He's about the same age as Grandpa, but about 5 years younger.
but he's just racist.
He's just racist.
What is his weapon? It's like a power blast. You're oppressed now. Or no, wait. Maybe he denies you're oppressed. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Could it be disenfranchisement?
I think disenfranchisement is good. Protests hurt people more than they help. We're charging up.
There was a good Onion article, and I know I'm going on a million tangents.
Onion
right now.
article?
Well, it was like beginner's yoga instructor frustrated that none of her students know how to concentrate chakra energy into energy blast, and that was like a good article. Like, that kind of made my day when I saw that. And it's Everybody needs to read The Onion. I know I say this like every other episode. The Onion's really good.
So,
sorry.
real quick.
More dads.
Final Destination, items off, racist dad only.
Well, no. Final Destination, items off.
Gwant.
Gwant. Gwant is a...
We gotta explain
We
Gwant.
have to explain Gwant because Gwant is I think, a very humorous Super Smash Brothers
character.
This is Smash 4. And you only unlock Gwant through some special tricks with the Mii Fighters thing. And by that I mean you have to make a Mii Fighter for Gwant. It's not like...
So Gwant is, although we will never admit this, and I feel bad about it, though I didn't really help in his creation, so I can't really feel bad, but I do enjoy the joke. Gwant is based off a person we know in real life.
What's his name?
Named Grant. Which is why Gwant is just
Gwant is
really...
a slightly dopier looking Grant, although it's not a lot. Like, it's not a lot different.
No, okay.
I love Grant. He's a wonderful human being. But the Gwant me is very, very accurate.
It is. So Gwant is essentially incredibly fast.
Just like real Grant.
Just like real Grant.
He can jump very, very high.
Grant in real life is not a very large person. His hair is kind of a little spiky, and he wears big hoodies and jeans, and he's not large. But
no, but he's powerful.
He's powerful on multiple levels. Intelligence,
also, he
powerful.
is the person who got me into Dungeons and Dragons, and I owe him a lot for that.
And does Gwant fight with... No, Gwant has 2 boxing gloves.
He doesn't even have boxing gloves.
It's just
I think
fists?
it's just gloves. It's just leather gloves.
Okay, Gwant is a brawler.
Gwant is a Mii brawler, and he's the best character in Smash 4.
Literally, we cannot beat him.
Well, no, Learnart.
Who is another parody of a person we know in real life.
Human being we know in real life.
But this one was consensual.
Yes. Well, no, Grant approves of Gwent.
Okay,
I've spoken with Grant about Gwent.
Okay, good.
Because it's a respectful parody.
Yeah, but Lerner is sort of this slow, heavy, sword-wielding, glasses-wearing, supercharging ability.
He looks a little bit off from the real person, because we have a Mii that looks just like the real guy, that is just Leonard. And then we have Learnart, which is a slightly more astute,
educated version of Leonard.
This is not going to be super funny to everybody listening, so what if we move on to more dad stuff?
I agree.
And we need to be done with this prompt shortly.
Yeah, because like,
I think we spend
I'm
a lot of time
running out of dad material.
Here's the thing. All these dads have to have carpal tunnel. That's like a funny melee joke.
Okay, funny. Okay.
That's important.
Funny melee joke.
It's a funny melee joke.
The dads have carpal tunnel.
We need one more dad.
We do need one more dad. What's the last?
Can there be the deadbeat dad who went out for cigarettes?
He's just not in the game.
He's like Mew back in Pokemon Red and Blue. They're like, if you look under the truck, you can unlock him, and it's like he's not. But I can't get to the truck. Yeah, he's not there. There's a cigarette store in the background of one of the stages, and it's like
it's an Easter egg, and like, he'll occasionally walk out of it, but think about coming back and not do it.
But you can't go in it. You can't actually go in it.
Good point.
But if you hack the game, you can go in, and if you go in, you see him there, but you can't actually unlock him.
What would his special move be?
His special move?
He can go invisible.
Showing up unannounced on your 10th birthday.
Ooh, it close to home.
Bradley, do you have a secret dad that I don't know about?
No, my real dad is my real dad. Anyway, so
your real dad made me some good tacos tonight, and I really appreciate that.
He's a real good dad. So now we move on to your prompt.
Fuck. Thank you, Sienna. That was a very good prompt. I thoroughly enjoyed discussing that. Okay. I don't normally like to do the prompts that I put in here, but I really want to talk about ways to slow people down.
Okay, well,
I came up with that prompt like a long time ago. It was probably a month or two ago, and like I put it in my phone and forgot to put it on this document, and I found it today. It's a good prompt.
Let me hit you with this. Okay, so there's a Batman villain whose name is Paste Pop Pete.
Paste Pop Pete.
The Triple P, as his beloved fans call him.
Okay.
And he has the ability. He has this big machine on his back, which sprays gunk.
Gunk?
That's the scientific term.
It's a bad word. I don't like that
but
word.
Yeah.
It's a yucky word.
It's supposed to be on the ground and people get stuck in it.
Okay.
And
So
that's
what
how
we need
you
is-
slow people down.
We need... What's his name?
Paste Pot Pete.
We need Paste Pop Pete, I think. I think that's how we need to slow people down. What are some other ways to slow people down? The gears of bureaucracy.
That's red tape? Yeah, heck
Red
yeah.
tape. That's a good way to do it.
You know what actually would be a really
Literal
good
red tape.
literal red tape that you cannot like. What's that?
This is our solution. Okay, we got Paste Pop Pete. That's the obvious answer. Let's talk about red tape, our new invention. We haven't done an invention in a while.
No, we haven't. So okay, here you know that stuff they use to like seal boxes.
Tape.
Kinda.
Okay.
It's like that stuff on that big roll. It's like clear. It's
Yeah.
like Saran wrap,
Yeah.
but thicker.
Like thicker Saran
Yeah.
wrap.
So we take that, make it red.
Okay.
That's essentially the idea, but it's used for people
It's used for people. So
instead of boxes. So what you do is, if you want someone slow, you knock them out, find a big heavy thing,
yep.
and just tape them to it.
Could we make the now for convenience sake? Can we make the roll big and heavy so you can use the roll to pull out? Maybe there's like a big spike instead of like a handle in the middle coming out through the hole. There's a big spike there you can use to. No, it needs to be a bludgeoning object. So maybe it's a bat, and then on the bat, the tape roll is rolled around the bat.
Boom.
So it does that. Also, if you use it to tape off an area, it's legally binding. You cannot go in.
Yeah. Unless you do it stealthily.
Unless you do it stealthily, or you cut through that red tape using just
The scissors of
government
going
pole.
around
the scissors.
of going around the bureaucracy.
That's my favorite D&D magic item.
The ring of bureaucracy.
The ring of the scissors of going around the bureaucracy.
So, do you know what the ring of bureaucracy is?
Isn't that movie where you watch it and then 7 days later you get elected president?
I think that sounds about right. But in Dungeons and Dragons, the Ring of Bureaucracy is in at least second edition, which is the edition I know best because I'm a nerd. Thanks, Grant, by the way, for teaching me second edition.
Okay, hold on a second. This podcast literally would not exist if Grant hadn't got me into Dungeons and Dragons, because there is a very long pathway you can follow through my life where you see like me at the start of Dungeons and Dragons, and then like literally 5 years later finding a Dungeons and Dragons podcast that I got really into and being like, I want to do this, and starting my own Dungeons and Dragons podcast, and then now we're here.
It's good. Thank you, Grant. The ultimate,
Thanks, Grant.
the progenitor of good idea.
Grant, he really is
did
in a
it.
lot of ways.
So essentially, the Ring of Bureaucracy is this ring you put on, and it grants you one wish, and then it summons a pen and a lot of paper. And you have to fill out like 7 years worth of paperwork to get your wish. And if you mess it up, it goes away forever. And the ring is stuck to your hand. So that's kind of a way to slow a person down a little bit.
That's good too.
It is good.
I do think bureaucracy is good. I want me a girl with a mind. Hold on.
Okay,
I want me a girl with a mind like a diamond. And a voice that is dark, like tinted glass. No, this is a different song that I'm quoting right now. I want a girl with shoes that cut and eyes that burn like cigarettes. I'm getting all the lyrics out of order. Essentially, I want a girl that uses a machete to cut through red tape. I want an astute girl. I want a girl with a short skirt and a long tail. Jacket. Hey, everyone listen to Cake. Speaking of dads, it's such a dad band. It's a great band. Love Cake.
So
off
our
track
first
today.
invention is red tape, and then our second invention, let me suggest to you, road spikes, but for humans.
So floor spikes.
Yeah. And they're nails.
Consider this. I'm actually gonna go to my. I think I have something pertinent to this. I'm gonna go to my guide to offense,
Okay, guide to offense.
which I've talked about on this show a couple times. My biggest personal project that I do all by myself. Oh yes, the bed of nail, offensive maneuver number 52.
Okay.
The safety of a bed of nails works on the physics concept of distributing weight across a bunch of points to lower the amount of pressure and thus lower the stabbing capacity of the nails. Now imagine the world of possibilities that lie in convincing someone to lay on a bed of one nail.
Ow!
Can we slow people down with slander and libel?
We can do slander and libel. That works pretty darn well.
That's good. Infected ground needles.
That sounds kind of like bed of nails.
A little bit. It's different.
Okay.
It's different. The rumor mill, biological warfare.
The rumor mill is kind of a fun concept.
I mean,
They make them there.
they make all the rumors there, and you can use the rumor mill to sort of like create
Yeah.
psychological
take-home
red
kit.
tape.
So we've invented nails, red tape, and
These are all new inventions.
they are. And what do you think the last invention should be, Aiden, for
Well, I
our
think-
trio of
I
our
think we should
trifecta of speed racer gadgets?
I think we should build a wall. No.
Please don't. I'm so fuck. Okay, here. This is to you, the populace of the world. Donald Trump is not. It's just scary. It's not funny anymore. It's my personal opinion is that Donald Trump out of vogue. He's not in this season. His fashion has failed.
I have an idea.
and I don't think his jokes are funny.
Okay.
Okay, the last slowing invention. Practical.
Something new. We need something new.
new. Wait. Here.
Yeah, you have one?
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm gonna invent here. Check this out. New miracle drug. I don't know why it's called miracle. It's called miracle drug.
It's called Miracle Grow. You put it in the ground.
No, and it stops speed at the source,
So cyanide.
the brain.
Yes, that's good. I like that. I think miracle drug is good. Can we do one where we both say a word?
It rids humans of their desire to go fast.
That's good. I
Okay.
like that a lot. Can we both say a word? You say a hindering word,
Okay.
and I'll say like a speed word.
A hindering word,
A hindering word.
as
and
in
I'll
something
say-
that would hinder, or an adjective for hinder, like a synonym.
I don't know, whichever you think. Either one is fine.
All right, good. I'll choose something that hinders.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Quick.
Axe.
Axe quick.
We got quick axe.
Quick axe. That's another way to shut down the brain. Okay, let's go. Next prompt. Quick axe.
So fast.
Dunk.
Right in half. All right.
I've been cleft in twain. The cough had to come from both sides of the mic because I was cleft in twain.
Oh, that's an excellent point. Because your two lungs, they got two separate
Yeah.
mouths and windpipes. No.
They don't need to know about that.
Okay. Whatever, Zaphod Beeblebrox.
I have another prompt I want to talk about if you'll allow it.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
will oblige.
I want to talk about a prompt from Kyle.
Oh, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
And you can choose between these two.
Ooh.
Number 1.
Power.
Oh shit! You can choose between these 3, and I do intend to do, hopefully, all 3 of these at some point in time. Maybe multiple this episode, but there are some really solid ones right here.
Okay.
Number 1. These are all from Kyle. How do I wait until marriage?
How do I wait until marriage? Okay.
Number 2. Unity sphere.
Okay.
And number 3. Sex ed, but the E is capital, so it's a person. And then the question of how do the do. I really like all 3 of
I
these.
kind of want to combine how to wait until marriage and sex ed.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just
So-
want to answer the lone question of how do I wait until marriage, and I just want to say patiently.
That's good. That's good advice.
Patiently. Or don't.
Also, if you've got your heart set on it, I would encourage you to get a mail order bride.
Well, yeah, because everybody really wants to get married.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end goal of marriage is marriage, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And so, in this particular question, of course,
Yes.
that's what it means. And so I think if you do want to get married, just like real quick, you can get a quick Russian mail order.
Mail order bride.
It doesn't have to be Russian. I think
Yeah.
we're being closed-minded to say that.
We're racist.
Could we get a Inuit mail order bride?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Could we get an American mail order bride?
No.
Shit.
I'm so sorry. What were we doing? I cannot remember.
This is going to be a very incongruous episode, huh? Sex ed. How do the do?
Okay, so the way sex ed.
And if we need to tie in, how do I wait until marriage? Okay.
Imagine your parent.
Oh, I'm imagining.
Your parent. Okay,
Oh,
your
no.
your parent.
I'm not imagining anymore.
Your parents, and they want you to not do the do. They want you to wait until marriage because they're the type of.
So they bring in the expert.
No. So
The
they buy this product. They find it at the supermarket and it's marked automatic sex ed. It's a robot, and you bring him home. They open him and they unwind him and he sits in your room. And then whenever you go near a girl, he slaps your dick.
I think. But what if some kids are into that?
Not okay. It's clean off.
They want you to not. They want you to not do the do. So they buy this
Yeah,
product.
so they
It's
buy-
called a turtleneck. You put it on, and no women or men or anyone of any gender will ever want to interact with you anyway,
Or
romantically or sexually.
But okay, so I think sex ed has a lot of
I
potential.
think sex ed is good. So he's a robot.
He comes right out of the box.
It's a robot.
It is a robot.
It
We
is a
don't wanna
robot.
be
It's not a he.
controversial.
We can't give gender to robots.
They don't have it. They have no perception of
They
it.
don't. So sex ed is a robot. Also teaches. Can you think kids can like rewire it to teach them how to have sex really good?
I think that's a setting
I think
that
it's
the
a
parent
setting.
can enable.
Can the kids have sex with sex ed?
No, absolutely not. Out
No.
of the question. No,
Is the-
he
there-
can give helpful tips.
There are no orifices
if
on
they're
this
in the, if they're in
robot.
the, it's like lock the door,
Turn off the lights.
turn off the lights.
Shirt off.
That website will give you a virus.
Sorry, I'm congested. Oh boy.
Use Kleenex, not a sock. Stop. Not the sock.
Not me.
Not. Fuck.
The robot has no orifices.
No, he's
I definitely pronounced orifices wrong.
He's a sphere.
It's
Unity
a
sphere.
It's a sphere.
Unity sphere.
Oh, it brings them together.
Yeah, it brings them together. It's unity. We got you. So we've combined them all. Sex
then
ed
sex
is
ed
a
helps you wait
hovering
till marriage.
unity sphere that gives you good advice and physically stops you from going towards women.
Well,
He'll
Anyway.
sort of hover
I
and
think-
bump
I think-
against you the closer you get.
I think it's a very progressive robot. So he's like, it's like, sorry, I don't know who you like, so I'm going to stop you from going near anyone.
I don't see gender.
Leave room for sex ed.
Leave room for sex ed.
Leave room for sex ed. There's the dance. Sex ed. Leave room for sex ed.
Make way!
Make
He's
way.
going onto the dance floor. Sex ed got boogie. And he just spins
I
really
am going
fast.
to pop and lock it. And it starts
Do the stanky
expanding.
leg.
And it starts.
It's like the Harlem Shake. It just starts fucking vibrating.
It's really into the song. Like the Dougie comes on and it's really into it. But it just starts bobbing up and down. It's like, how do I do this? Teach me how to, Dougie.
But it also gives you, it has like shitty opinions on music. So it's like on the dance floor and it's like, I like the Chainsmokers before they were popular. And you're like, fuck off, sex ed. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
So it doesn't teach you how to have safe sex. It teaches you how to have sex really well, but it keeps you from ever doing it.
Yeah.
Until marriage, of course, where it helps you.
Ooh, sex ed in the bedroom is kind of a terrifying tactic. Because it sort of hovers in the corner and it makes,
Well,
and you know,
Please, the ed room.
and that's the sound sex ed makes, even in sleep mode.
Sorry,
And during like normally
Bradley.
it's like wrong hole. Oh, never mind.
Bradley, the ed room.
The Ed room?
It's not the bedroom.
Okay.
We have to make the special moment in the Ed room. Okay, listen. I have a very important question. One last question about sex ed.
Got it.
If anybody can teach me where the clitoris is, it's going to be sex ed, because I'm very convinced it doesn't exist.
No, that's fictional, dude.
The clitoris?
They
They
made that up.
Yeah, they made that up. Okay, that's what I thought. So
They
sex
don't-
ed, of course, would know this.
Women don't derive any pleasure.
Any
from,
pleasure.
Yeah,
from
of
sex.
course.
No.
Where have you been?
Well, because sex is only for procreation, which is why we invented sex ed.
Yeah.
Who doesn't teach you how to have... I mean, he does teach you how to have good sex, but that's like... the parents have to turn that feature on.
Yeah. This is so fucking stupid.
It's funny, though. I really like sex ed. He's a good character. It's a good character.
Do you think we can put like a baseball hat on him occasionally and like take
It's
him
a
in
really
public?
big... It is a really big... Like, it doesn't...
Okay,
everyone thinks he's a person, though.
How big do you think sex ed is?
I think he... As I said, he expands whenever the Dougie comes on.
I think he's like...
no, he doesn't.
I think
When does he
normally he's
expand?
like the size of a human head, like about that, but perfectly spherical. There's no markings on him at all. He's silver, and you can put a baseball cap on him if you really
We'll
want
put a baseball cap on him. Does he have a little hook, or 2 hooks, on which to hang a trench coat?
That,
4 sex eds in a trench coat.
that's a home install feature. Somebody's like, "Oh my god, can I have your autograph, Mr. Fushigi?" Not me.
I like the idea that Mr. Fushigi named the balls after his... He didn't invent them. Somebody else made them, and they named the balls after how round Mr. Fushigi's head was. How round and transparent. Mr. V's very pale. Okay.
I like sex ed, but we got it. We got
We
it.
need
He
to
was
move on.
good, but we got
Let's
to
do
move
another
on.
prompt.
All right.
All right, I want you on the last prompt.
Okay.
What are we talking
The
about?
last prompt, and that footage you just got is completely unusable.
Oh, absolutely, because I was using the restroom during it.
Yeah.
So hit me with the last prompt.
The last prompt is Aiden.
Yes, sir.
In the far off future, in billions and billions of years from now, when the sun is boiling away in space, how will the world end?
How will the world end? It's all gonna end someday. Hold on.
You're gonna be dead long before it ends, bud.
What?
So how
When
will
am I gonna...
end?
What? Hold on. Hold on a
Welcome
second.
to theology.
No, we already...
We started the episode with
Oh
a
my
beginning,
God.
and we end the episode with an end.
No, the end. Bradley, it's all gonna end!
It's an end.
Oh my god.
All
Okay.
the ends are equally likely. You just have to pick
No, I
the
don't
one
wanna pick an
you
end.
want.
Bradley, I talked big game last week all about Kierkegaard and understanding suffering and how everything is suffering, and now I'm here and I'm realizing that it's all gonna end someday.
Really?
What do I do?
Relax. Enjoy the view.
How can you relax in times like these?
Well, that's just my point. If people relax, we wouldn't have any times like these. But people forget that. I know I did. I can't remember the rest of this
I
monologue.
spent all my time in the regular jungle,
in
clawing
a
and
jungle
scratching and business.
I made that line up.
So you did what?
Well, I just relaxed. That was 35 years ago now, and I've been a happy man ever since. But more importantly, Kolenkov, Mr. Kalishnikov,
Yes?
Mr. How will the world end?
How will the world end?
Yes.
Oh man, I do not even know. I think it will end beautifully. It would be very good to watch how the world end.
Maybe you could get a camera.
If I could get a camera and watch the most beautiful end of the world. Is that the question you're asking
Well,
me?
no, the question was, how does the world end?
Not with a bang, but with a sassy black woman. That was my Cards Against Humanity joke.
Well, if you don't want to pick it, I'll pick it.
Is this the prompt? I'll do the prompt.
This is the prompt.
I didn't know this was the prompt. I didn't see it on the list.
It's not on the list.
How
but
to start the start of
it's-
the start
it's-
of the start of the end of the start of the end of the start of the end of the world. That was one of the prompts, I know.
Well, this
This
is
is
the
not-
prompt.
This is the prompt? Okay,
How
so-
does it all end?
Okay, well, here's the thing. This is a lot of pressure because, like, if the world ends the way that I talk about it ending, then people are definitely going to be like, wow, he said this was going to happen like this. He must be a spy.
For the end?
Yeah. So when it all ends, when everyone's all dead, they'll be like, oh, he predicted it. He must have been a bad guy the whole time.
Alright, so what is it?
So when everyone's not alive anymore... Oh, wait, that's not how that works. Never mind. Okay, we're good. I mean, do you want, like, a genuine, serious answer?
Aiden, I'm just asking how the world ends.
I think it would be... I'd like it to be beautiful. So I'm going to make it beautiful. Humans have ravaged the Earth with pollution and what have you. We are in space, of course. We have not
Space
died-
pollution,
And space pollution. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
just puts oxygen in space.
Oh, no. No, but that's not what I'm saying. We've long left Earth behind. But maybe there's one or two people left to see this. And they're just like, we're here all alone. And they've got like their little baby. Because they're trying to keep the human species alive on Earth. Because they missed the last train.
Space train.
Space train to space.
That's another prompt.
Space train?
Yeah, we do that later.
Okay. Write it down.
Okay.
And I think it's a barren wasteland. These people who are on Earth are not at all reminiscent. Maybe they're reminiscent of, but they're not at all the same as the humans we have today. They're much more equipped for this heat and this sort of lack of vitamin C they're getting. So they're not even going to get scurvy, even though there's no oranges.
Okay.
And that's how they're still alive. So that's good. And maybe their skin is like a donut, because donuts, when you cook them, they taste better than when you don't cook them. So when they're people, they taste better because they're in the sun and on a boiling wasteland of a planet.
Okay.
And they don't even get scurvy. So that's good. And I think the sun hasn't exploded yet, because the Earth would have to end a long time before that. But maybe there's like a big earthquake and the water, tidal waves all over the place, but there's not a ton of water because most of it's evaporated, so maybe there's no tidal waves at all. But I think it's just very hot, and then the Earth gets so hot, it gets so baked like a stoner on 420. The most beautiful thing. That I think like a little space rock hits it, and then it starts to fracture, and then it's like in Ice Age, the Ice Age shorts with the little squirrel thing with the acorn.
Yeah.
When the world breaks apart, like the ice, because the acorn went in it.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's a really beautiful
course.
scene from Ice Age, and then the world cracks apart, and then the people are there, and they slowly watch the world crack apart and float off into space, because there's no longer the core gravity or whatever, how gravity works, keeping it together. And then they float off into space and they get really cold and die. But during
There it
all
is.
that, it just very slowly floats apart, and the sun, it's a lot closer to the sun now for some reason. So the way the sun like hits the space rock, and the magma is just sort of like floating in the middle of space, and then it hardens into a new form, and it becomes a much smaller mini planet.
Do you want to know the real end of the universe?
Was this all a bit to circle back to your bit from the beginning? Yes.
Well, sure. But I wouldn't put it on the podcast. Maybe. But in the end, there's going to be the inevitable heat death of the universe, where all the particles and all the matter spreads out through the infinite that is space. And if you divide anything finite by infinity, we all know that's zero. So you get this infinitely spread out, different little chunks of anything, which are nothing in reality. And then, in the dark, black heart of space, there's something again. And it starts all over.
The same thing? Did time just loop?
Not the same thing necessarily, but something similar, probably, with the same elements and the same stars and there are planets there, and there are asteroids, and there's oxygen and nitrogen and helium.
I think we need to get new elements for this one.
Okay, I'm going to invent something called Braxion, which is very similar to gold, except that when you touch it, it hurts.
That's really cool.
And yeah,
That's already an element, isn't
I'm going to be a sci-fi writer.
it? Is that already an element?
No, infinity is just zero with a twist in it. You know, let's end. What's your favorite idea
What
of
just
the episode?
happened?
We're back.
What?
We're back. What's your favorite idea of the episode, Aiden?
Well, I'm soups creeped out right now, but I did thoroughly enjoy talking about sex
I
ed.
think we play unanimous sex ed.
Unanimous sex ed is what they teach in Texas, where they say, just don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
All right. And then, what's your pick
That's
of
the
the?
unanimous agreement.
And then, what's your pick of the
My
week?
pick of the week? Definitely sex ed. No. Abstinent. No. Can you go first? I went first last time.
Sure. I can offer pick of the
You're just
week.
gonna recommend a car again.
No, Aiden, I will not recommend the 19. I will not recommend the 1972 Cadillac Eldorado for your moving needs
All
of
your
the
late
1960s and early 1970s, even though it is a fantastic
Needs.
car. Did you know that it fills up from the rear? As in, you remove the license plate, there's a little lift-up plate, and you can fill it up from there. It's a nifty
You were gonna do this
early
again.
70s,
You were gonna
late
do this
60s
again.
trick. How fun!
Bradley, were you gonna do that again?
No, I wasn't.
Okay,
I
good.
was going...
What were you actually gonna recommend, Brad?
All right. This week, Brad recommends...
Rogaine.
No.
Hair for men.
Hair for men. Can I get just a quick?
You want me
We
to do
may
mine?
no. Maybe we can. Well, here, no. Fuck! I see the fucking car again. I was.
Just look up. It's the fucking guy. No, what did you just look up, Bradley, to get to that image?
It's on my Tumblr. I was scrolling through it. Give me just.
Is this bit anything to you, or is it like
no?
a
It
bit?
is. No, it's not a bit.
You want me to do mine? I had one.
Yeah, sure.
It's gonna be a musical again, but that's okay.
We'll do a musical.
Okay. I have to recommend to you this week Things to Ruin, the songs of Joe Iconis. It is a really sad but also really sweet musical that I don't fully understand the plot of, but my theory from just the soundtrack that I've listened to is that it's a bunch of like sort of down and out people who run into each other at a bar, and they're all sort of getting drunk together, and at some point they start telling each other their stories, and none of them have much in their life, but they are, and they're just sort of like sharing about themselves and about what's got them down and their past and whatever, and you get a lot of really good songs. It's funny, I compared it to Ben Folds, and then I read an article that was written in like 2008 that also compared it to Ben Folds, which was really funny to me because that means that it's
True.
And it's also funny to me because I compared it to Ben Folds while I was talking about how it was if I were to write music, I would want it to be like this or Ben Folds. So it's like, I think the parallels are very strong. It's a really funny musical. It's really sweet. There's a couple songs in there that make me cry. It's very beautiful. It's kind of weird. Like, you have to get into it a little bit, but they all just kind of tell each other their stories and then become family with each other, even though they don't have much else. And it's really cute. Bradley, what's your
Aiden.
pick of the week?
My pick of the week.
Is the 1972.
I can't fucking remember. My pick of the week is...
What's something you've been listening to this week, or something you've been reading this week, or maybe like a 39-page murder mystery that you've been writing?
I did finish it.
That you finished, that you turned in this week.
Well, I'm not going to recommend that because I'll never let anyone read it except Mrs. Clark.
Can I read it?
It's
Is it
not
good?
very. My personal opinion is that it drags quite a bit.
About 39 pages?
You do know I adjusted the margins, right?
I know you
It's
did.
initially 49 pages, and that's double spaced, so it is only like 24. But so my pick of the week, telling the truth.
It's a good pick of the week. It solves pretty much all problems.
It is a good. Here, try this. When you're in the possibility of just addressing something head on, and this is not me telling you to tell people that have power over you that you dislike them, because that's never a good solution. But
But if you're in love with
but
your
just
best friend,
needlessly,
Bradley, I've been meaning to tell you something. Just kidding.
I did shit myself in your chair.
No, I got up and went to the bathroom like an adult.
That's good. And I think it's time for housekeeping.
Telling the truth is great, Bradley. I remember earlier this year I told you that and you were like, no.
It only works if somebody else agrees to tell the truth.
The other person also has to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's a great caveat. But telling the truth is a very good pick of the week, Bradley. I like it a lot.
Our Facebook group is Good Idea Podcast.
Wait, this is mine.
Yes. I was waiting for you to do it.
Oh, sorry.
It's going to be an editing heavy episode.
It'll be fine. It's going to take me a solid hour or two, but not two, an hour and a half.
All right.
Our Facebook group is Good Idea Podcast. Our Twitter is @GoodIdeaCast. We've been much more active on actually all of our social media lately, which is good. Follow us on Twitter. Join our Facebook group. You can submit ideas there. You can submit ideas on Tumblr, which is where Sienna submitted her ideas, where we are also @GoodIdeaCast. On Gmail, we are goodideapodcast@gmail.com, where you can email us to talk about purchasing sort of like personal messages or advertisements, or send us ideas there. We've yet to get a single email, but like that means that you can be very like, you can just email us about whatever. You want to say hi? Email us, say hi. Because like I will notice it, because it will not get lost in a flood of emails. Most of our interactions happen on Twitter, which is a great place to interact with us also, because I do get those notifications and I can respond pretty much immediately. That was Good Idea. Nuts. We're done here.